What's happening now?
What
There
is
we go.
happening now?
I don't know. Okay, I was having some like weird situation because I'm trying to send the I was trying to send the live link out to some places, but whatever, it's fine. So yeah, hello everyone, and welcome to the Work in Progress After Dark podcast. Today I am joined by let's see, he's right here, Casey, who's co-founder of Work in Progress,
The
and
magical, mystical black box here.
that's correct. And then Jeremiah from Dudeless Chat, two of my favorite people. I'm glad that they can be here. So
Oh,
we're a little bummed out here, or at least I'm bummed out in particularly. Basically, the original plan tonight was to discuss summer anime. We were going to watch. We were going to watch the first episode of Call of the Night. We were gonna do a little party watch of that. But unfortunately, HiDive is down, so we only got about halfway through the episode before the website started to crash, and it probably is still down. So we're gonna put that particular topic off on hold for now. Hopefully, we can try that again, maybe this weekend or perhaps early next week, and get back into it. So we're gonna go ahead, but we're gonna still go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and still have a conversation tonight. So go ahead and tell me what you guys are all up to. What have you guys been up to? What do you guys what are you guys doing?
I'm working. I fought COVID. I won. You know, I fought it to the death, and I came out the victor. So remember that. Who's the cure for cancer? These two right here, baby. Like I'm coming for it. No, man. I mean, literally just one after the other. Just been working, playing some games. Got back into Monster Hunter World just before Sunbreak dropped because my wife and I love playing the Monster Hunter franchise.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
we're doing Sunbreak now. I jumped back into Smite with some friends who want to act tough. They're really great, though. I love you guys. If you ever watch this, because supporting family means something to me. But no, I mean, literally just been messing around. I got put on a 14-day quarantine, and because I have an antiquated doctor who doesn't read CDC changes, and he was just like, 14 days, you ain't going back to work. I was like, I mean, okay. But yeah, okay.
Oh no,
So,
the horror.
yeah, my wife was super salty because her doctor was like 5 days and get your ass back to work. And mine was like, nah, fam. You need 2 weeks and I'll check in on you. It's like, oh, thanks, man. Don't die anytime soon. I love this. Uh, so I got to touch something magical that some workplaces have called EIB or ELB. For people
The hell
not
is
in the
that?
know, that's the extended leave or illness bank that they usually hoard like a fucking dragon. You know, they're just like, oh yeah, you get this sick time, but don't ever use it. If you want it, you need to have 20 pages of things. Well, my workplace was forced to give it to me because of pandemic. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it was, you know, then my
Yeah,
coworker went down with it. Jacob, J&L, he went down with it. Unrelated. I didn't see him. We stayed away from each other, but he ended up getting it.
You-
His doctor was like, "Meh, CC says 5 days. I say 3, really. So get back to work." And he was like, "I hate this life." I'm like, "Yeah,
it's interesting.
happened."
I am now, like, I have heard a lot of people like who are getting it now. Like, it seems like there is kind of a little uptick happening. Um
It's not bad. This strain, whatever. I understand it was bad a couple years ago, and that's a popularly debated topic as to who thinks it's real and bad and not, and flat Earth and whatever. But um, this one, I will say, it just took away this beautiful singing voice, and I needed that. You know.
But by the way, YouTube, we are not discussing weird theories. We are just simply stating that we have had it, and
Yeah.
we have recovered, and we're all doing well. Please don't
Exactly.
ding me.
Well,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Like this isn't a
I've
discussion
never
about
had it,
people and their
so I
fanatic
don't know.
theories. Like,
So
but that's been me, man. COVID till I die, apparently.
yeah,
So
I went on vacation vacation a couple weeks ago. I went to a music festival called Electric Forest.
Yeah, how was that?
It's a lot of fun. But like I'm getting a little old for doing some of that. I'm a little old and I'm a little out of shape for doing some of that stuff. And
You need to hit up Planet Fitness, man.
It was a
Did you wear the booty shorts again? Whip, you can't be doing that. Not our day and age. Like,
I wore very comfortable clothing. But it was a 4-day 5-night camping music festival. So we arrived Wednesday evening, and then the festival was Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. And we came back on Monday, and I had never done a 4-day music festival before. I've done plenty of 3 days, but 4 days is a special kind of hell. Although it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but during the day when you're like sitting there sweltering in your tent because it's 85 degrees out, but it's like the sun is just beating down on you, so it feels like 95 degrees. It was tough, and I was like sitting there like, oh my god, I'm ready to be home. Like I had those feelings like every time it was daytime, I had that feeling, but as soon as I got into the music festival and started listening to music and having a good time, that all went away. But I will be honest with you, and it kind of drove my buddies nuts. When during the day, I was already like starting on day 1, I got super sunburnt. I got chafed really bad in unpleasant areas, and starting day 2, I was already like planning our escape. Like I was like, on the last night that we're here, let's like, before we go into the festival, let's pack up a bunch of stuff so that way we can get out like early in the morning on Monday. It's just like it was a good time, but like I was just miserable during the day when it was hot and there was nothing to do. But
old.
It was fun.
We're old. I mean, used to be I'd wake up at 8 or 9 in the morning, maybe, and be like, oh, checkout's 11. Better start packing now. And now I'm just kind of like, man, I can't wait to be in my own bed.
I know, like, right? Like, I'm gonna be 33 in 20 days, and yeah.
So glad I bought you Red Dead Redemption 2 Deluxe Edition.
I know, right? Maybe we'll get into that tonight. But yeah, it's tough, but I did have a good time. It's honestly the best music festival I've ever been to. I'm already planning my trip for next year with the same people that I went this year, and even some of the people who I met there. But I now know what to expect. I underestimated it, but now I know what to do to be more comfortable next year. And lots of baby powder.
If there's ever one thing I've ever learned from Boy Scouts, it's always be prepared. Always have more than you need when you go on a trip. Because you know what? You never know what you're going to need on a trip.
And I agree with that. I wish I would have had that when we went hiking in the Lost Maples. Because Tabby and I were the only one. Maybe we're just too old. But we were like, oh, yeah, it says we need like freaking, what was it, half a gallon of water for every like hour you're on the trail. And so we brought like water or whatever, and no one else did. And it turned into Survivor real quick after the first hour. Because everyone's like, all I brought was this Nestle bottled water, 16.9 ounces. And Tabby and I are pulling out. I'm dropping the backpack, getting water. Everybody's looking at me. I was like, I could just let them dehydrate here.
It's good. It's funny. Like that was me, but with like cell phone chargers, right? Like I brought like prior to the festival, I charged up a couple of these like the cell phone chargers that, these battery pack thingies, and I they were set to keep my phone charged the entire weekend, but none of my friends they did not bring cell phone chargers, and so
Please
they're like,
tell me you charged them.
I did help them with getting their cell phone charges, but these batter packs, they were good. They were dead by day 2, and in order to charge our cell phones, I had to turn on my car, and I had to like keep the engine, and I had to keep the
In
engine
this day
running
and
for, like,
age, at like $5 a gallon, how dare they? Like,
Well, I mean, I myself, I have a Prius, so it's not that bad, but I can definitely understand. And let me go ahead and correct myself. When I say, please tell me you charged them, I mean that you charged your
money.
friends money.
I see. That's what I thought you said. I was like, oh no, he didn't
No,
correct him. But I was like, so like $5 a charge, right? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
25 cents a minute. There we go.
Bro, I would have been charging once I had to break out the car. Like, who's paying for the next gallon? You know?
Yeah. Well, no, whenever, like, I told them, I was like, hey, look, because the thing is, I spent a lot of money to get to essentially, like, I was there. They had to fly in from California, and I had to pick them up in Louisville. So, like, I was sort of like their key to making everything happen. And I was like, you guys got to help me pay for some of this shit. Like, it's like, you got to help me pay for some gas. You got to help me pay for some booze. You got to help me pay for food. Because I had to like, I booked hotel rooms prior to picking them up from the airport. I bought like one of those camping stove things, one of those like propane Coleman things. And,
yeah.
I brought a whole bunch of stuff to make it happen, and I was like, "You guys got to help me at least with some gas and like food and booze." So that, but despite these complaints, I had an amazing time. It was really fun, and I'm looking forward to going back. But it's going to be my one big music festival a year, and I'm going to start. I'm going to sort of start training physically for it like now, so that way, like, I'm in better shape next year before going. So that way, I'm not like dying.
Hey, you gotta. I mean, for me, nah. I told him, I was like, next hike y'all want to do, I'm gonna be the same fat, lovable guy who got to the top. Was like, fuck all of you. Like, sorry about the language, but that was a trip. It wouldn't have been as bad if I wasn't, out of water by like hour 2 of our 5-hour hike. I was like, yeah, this is gonna suck. Bro, I'm a big guy. I'm pulling around more weight than y'all, and I had a bigger backpack. And so we got to the downhill trend. Everybody just takes off because they're just all la-di-da happy. And I'm sitting here like, one wrong move, and I start an avalanche. Like, this isn't the best place to be. So you got to be careful. I had muscles tense up and cramp up. I didn't even know there were muscles around your knees, but they were there. And so – like, I thought about it, and I was like, man, maybe I should just walk more and stuff. And I was like, nah, they're going to hear the same crap next year. Who does this? Who wants to go hiking up a mountain that we've already traveled up? Like, someone made it. You've lost, okay? Like, there's a Netflix series special about this. Let's just watch that. If you really want to work out, we can, go somewhere. Y'all can. I'll do my Wii Fit stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
The one thing I can definitely state is I myself, I'm not necessarily a bigger guy. If anything, I can be seen as like slim.
Dude, you could probably stand to gain some weight, Casey.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely.
I mean, all I see you as is a giant talking circular C. So really,
I could just go up from there, man.
Yeah, all you can do is go up. Like,
Casey, one of these days you need to dig your camera out from storage. And
oh my gosh, I definitely need to. But so my whole thing is like, my family is a family that has gone to like Disneyland every single year, like at least once a year.
Jesus.
And other than that,
woo!
Oh, no, trust me. I freaking loved it. This is why I'm such a big Disney fan, and I will go ahead and I will fight for Disney for the love of my life. But the one thing I do know is that even going with my own family, just going to Disneyland for like, let's say 2 days. You go to Disneyland for 2 days, you stay at a hotel for 4 days. That tires you out. I even went to Anime Expo when I was in high school. When you're supposed to have all this energy, when you're supposed to have all this like adrenaline. And I remember like the very last night that we were at the Anime Expo, all of us were literally like falling asleep against the hallway because we were so tired we could not even make it to our own apartment.
That's crazy.
So it's just like, I can understand like going to a concert in the middle of a desert. That is just draining on you in so many ways.
This wasn't in the middle. This was at like this like forest resort in Michigan. But like, you know, you're not camping in the forest. You're camping out in like the beaming hot sun, and it's hot. And like, I got sunburnt. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can kind of see it there.
Oh, risque. PG-13 can't be doing that for the stream.
That's like what's left of like this horrible sunburn that I had, and then of course I got it all in my arms. But like,
I'm telling you, man, you gotta stop wearing those booty shorts. We can't be having that, man. Not like,
man, I totally underestimated it, but yeah.
I like how he just pushes past that, like screw you, I will always wear the booty shorts. You know, I'm gonna have someone from another stream come onto my stream and tell me what I can and can't wear. That's know, right. Coachella.
No. See, what's going to happen is that Brent's going to go onto your stream and he's going to be wearing the booty shorts. Okay.
Yeah. If you can't accept me like this, you might as well just not have me on again. But fun fact, actually, if I ever do go to a concert or something like that, and this is the reason why my wife won't go with me, is because she knows I will. Just kind of like the last time I went to A-Fest out here in Texas. And I definitely want to go as a Sailor Scout. I mean, it's definitely just like walk out like Sailor in Uranus. I don't care.
You're breaking up a little bit. You're chopping up a little bit. Hopefully that recovers here.
Hopefully.
I do actually hear you. The one thing that I can state is which of the Sailor...
I wonder if that's me then. I wonder if that's...
I think it is actually you. I can actually hear... Yes, I can hear Jeremiah very well, actually.
Oh, so, no. I hope that...
I've heard.
I hope that my internet isn't going out. Let me see here.
You're heard. Don't worry. I heard you loud and clear. I hear both of you loud and clear. It's Brent that, doesn't believe enough.
This is probably because you were complaining about HiDive. They're coming back for you. Like,
I know.
Pay for our service.
Well, now you guys are coming back. I know. Like, I was complaining about HiDive. Like, they need to seriously. They need to figure their shit out. Like, if they're gonna be like the number two the number two legitimate anime streaming service in North America, then like they need to figure their things out. Like, if they're gonna buy up super popular anime that people want to subscribe to their service for, and pay money every month, they need to fix it. It kind
of goes along with that meme. They just a baby.
I mean, they've been around for
even
a while.
more than that. What do they really have to fight against? Crunchyroll has had issues with their streaming service for a while, and although they have been doing a lot to fix it, as we were just discussing earlier, they haven't done everything to fix it. There's still a lot of complaints and a lot of problems with it.
Sure.
For HiDive, what's the incentive? If they do better than Crunchyroll, then all eyes will be on them, and they'll probably drop the ball. Or there will be some backlash from Crunchyroll and Funimation, Funny Roll, or Cronimation, or whatever you want to call it, and... Like, either way, I really do think that they do want to keep the number 2 slot, at least for now, until they get bigger traction. And what would be the reason of really, like, fighting too hard for this? Fighting harder than Crunchyroll, who already monopolizes the freaking market, Unless you want to watch some Netflix original series.
I will say this, though. Like, I'm quite pleased with the progress that Crunchyroll is making.
Yes, I will say that this is a huge step up from before.
They finally separated their seasons and their dubs in a way that it's easy to like go siphon through and look at. It used to be like it would be like, okay, you want to watch season 1, you want to watch the dubs of season 1 of, say, like we'll use Black Clover. Black Clover was interesting because it would be Black Clover. There would be two things. There would be Black Clover and Black Clover dubs. Now, keep in mind, Black Clover has 140 episodes out there, and you would have to literally scroll through every
Everyone.
episode. You'd have to scroll through every episode, and it would usually start with like Spanish. Like like English wouldn't be first. English would be like third. It would go like Spanish, Portuguese, English, and you have to scroll through all of them. But like two or 3 weeks ago, they finally pushed out an update where everything is now like decently organized in a way that is a little bit more accessible. I still like it depends on your preference, but I do prefer the way that Funimation did it, where like it was it automatically went to the language that you prefer. So for example, in Funimation, I would put down, okay, my preferred language is English. So it would automatically set it to English. And if I wanted to set it to English or Japanese, I would just go into the settings and switch it to Japanese or English.
Mhm.
But the thing is, I don't think Funimation had dubs past English. However, Crunchyroll does dub in multiple languages. Funimation
I actually
doesn't.
appreciate that too. I know it's kind of weird. Not saying I'm some type of language aficionado or something. I'm not a linguist. But
Sure.
sometimes you hear about, like, have you heard the Russian dub of Spy Family? Because that is, like, that's great. It's like,
Yeah.
I would love to hear the Russian dub of Spy Family if it's great, you know?
Yeah, and
Good.
and that is one issue that HiDive is having that a lot of people are upset about. HiDive, they
Russians?
create an exclusivity for so we'll use Call of the Night, for example. They have exclusive streaming rights to Call of the Night right now. Call of the Night is theirs for distribution. However, HiDive is in multiple regions. However, the issue with HiDive is that they only sub in English. They only sub in English. So a lot of people I think the big example right now is Central America. The people in Central America, so Central and South America. So you're looking at Mexico. The big ones are Mexico and Portugal. Okay, that's what I see a lot of. And they are frustrated because they don't even get subs. They don't even get subs in their language. So they will happily watch it in Japanese, but they want to be able to understand it. They want to be able to read in the language that they do, and I even think that a lot of people would actually and from what I've also reading is a lot of people in those countries would like to actually see it dubbed in the language that they that they can but right now HiDive is very they lack communication with their what would be the people who were with their fan base or the people who are purchasing their product, right? They for example, they did not communicate on Twitter or anywhere that the site was down and that they're working on it, whereas websites like Crunchyroll or Funimation would have done that. It's like, oh, there's an issue, we're addressing it, we're figuring it out, we'll be back. HiDive lacks communication and they need to fix that if they're going to want to succeed. I honestly think that the thing is, Crunchyroll, I've read that Crunchyroll is known for buying up contracts after HiDive. After HiDive has them for a little while. And I would not be surprised if if HiDive does not make some changes to suit more fans. I personally think that HiDive will lose some anime, and I think that Call of the Night will be one of them. But I don't think that won't happen for like probably 2 or 3 years, depending on how long the current distribution contract is.
I mean, it's still fairly early with it. I mean, I think that, and especially with the Funimation Crunchyroll merger and Crunchyroll being the namesake, I think that HiDive has some time, I'm saying there's no incentive for them really to do any changes right now because they are technically still part of the monopoly. It's two people, you know, that you can pay for services and do out here over in the West, you know?
Right.
And so I personally feel like they will. I just feel like they're going to drag their feet. They're going to focus more on getting the high contracts. And if they continue to have this issue, to them, it's just more numbers. It's stuff that they can say, hey, but we're doing really well. Now let's work on it, you know?
Right.
And
Exactly.
I feel like instead of having
more quantity than quality.
Yeah, they're gonna just they're just to mass grab, and once they have enough, because they probably see that like Call of the Night's great, Made in Abyss season 2, amazing, sure, right? But like we need more because that's gonna pull people, not a stellar streaming service. And I think they really are missing that. I feel like if they were to make this streaming service that trumps Crunchyroll, you get more people based off principle alone. You know, that's a personal thought.
So like,
hey, it's working.
So, yeah, it's back. So what do they have here? So HiDive has, of course, Call of the Night. And we attempted to watch that earlier. So Call of the Night, and then of course the big one, the other big one is Made in Abyss, right? Have either of you guys heard of that? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, Made in the Abyss, or Made in Abyss, is a pretty dark but cutesy at the same time anime, dystopian almost, but it's cute but also pretty dark. Like I said, this is the second season, I believe.
Okay.
So, and actually, I'm more than certain that that's the second season. They just happen to grab it up, and that's totally smart. It's great. Be ready for the field trip.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
And then another one that they got, and I don't know if it's actually on this page. I'd probably have to go looking for it, but it's something called Tokyo Mew Mew. So that was one that I heard was rather big. And then
I don't know anything about Tokyo Mew Mew, but I love the name.
And then what was the other one that I saw here? Of course, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
There's a dungeon, that is great. The abridged is awesome too, but the abridged has my favorite thing from like episode 3. But this show is also pretty interesting.
I've honestly been wondering that because I've been seeing that on Crunchyroll and as well.
Is this one? Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Is that on Crunchyroll?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
They've got the second iteration, and so Crunchyroll probably has the first, unless they've got the first one here too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's interesting, typical Gary Sue main character, but I mean, it's got its moments. And so this is actually going to be a talk on our channel at one point. So I guess I will bring it up. And Whip, I'd love to have you a part of it. Casey, okay. Honestly, too. But it did abridged kill regular anime. Like, so with abridged coming out, some anime, of course, like just totally started hitting the band hammer on. Like, you can't be doing that, you know. Yeah. Try to do anything with Seven Samurai back in the day. Try to do anything with SAO at first. Like, they took down anything that came out.
So I do got to bring one thing up. I don't want to.
Go ahead.
Since we're talking about anime, one thing that we really need to do is we need to just kind of address this and sort of like have a brief moment of silence for Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh. He passed away this morning. Apparently it was a drowning accident. So we'll just have a brief moment of silence. And I didn't I didn't watch a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, but Yu-Gi-Oh has been huge for 2 decades plus. You can't deny that the impact of the manga, the anime, the cards, the merchandise that has had on just I guess like pop culture in general. You can't deny that. And I think it's a pretty big loss to the mangaka community.
Basically, Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I was a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! I totally watched the series. I did read the manga. I do realize how different the manga is from the anime.
Sure.
And I totally collected the cards and actually found a tin of the cards
Nice.
just recently. So it's just like, oh my gosh, no, that is a huge blow. That's kind of like
Yeah.
saying the same thing as a lot of the voice actors and cartoonists that worked on like Secret of Nim and all of that. It's just,
Oof.
it's a huge blow.
No, it
what
is.
happened?
And I
What
agree with
happened
Casey.
there?
I used to play it. It was. I used to play it. I love the anime. I love pretty much everything from that GX. What was it, Zexel 5Ds or whatever? They're at least entertaining, you know. When you would catch them. But I watched all of the first iteration, and I did find out later. Of course, like you said, the manga is completely different. What was it, Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode 0 is absolutely psychotic. But it was great. And then playing the games back, they actually, interesting little fact. So I'm sitting next to one of the Millennium Eye boxes that because back in 2016, my coworker Jacob, the other person in the podcast, one of the other people in the podcast, and myself, he came over to the house. And he noticed I had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I was like, "Yeah, they're some of my favorites. I'll use them as bookmarks," you know. And he was like, "I used to play," so he brought his over. We went to the office. And we brought out Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's like, we going? You know, like, are we playing? And then we jumped right back into it. Now, it's a toxic community nowadays, but that has nothing to do with the creator. He didn't create the toxicity. No. It came to the community, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't change the fact that the show was still awesome, and playing that game was good. It actually is what revived my love of Magic the Gathering again. And for him, it revived his love of Pokemon, like the trading card game. Nice. And we attribute both of that. We actually did a podcast, Dude's Lunch Chatting. We did a cast about that because, like, if it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh, we wouldn't be back. You know, we wouldn't be back here. And honestly, to me, that was my OG. Everybody would start collecting Pokemon cards, and that's fine and all, but Yu-Gi-Oh is what really got me for years. You know, It was so cool. So.
It's actually kind of funny because I remember, like, maybe a year, 2, 3 years back, Twitch was actually doing a 24-hour stream of just doing Yu-Gi-Oh episodes one after another. And I remember because there was this whole emote that Twitch had, and it was Joey, but he was doing a troll face. And I remember that one event because I happened to tune into Twitch right when that episode happened where his face did a troll face. And I can just see the entire chat going, "Oh my god, he did it!" and doing the emote the entire, like, 30 minutes of that episode.
So fun fact is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually is still one of the biggest tournaments out there, you know, and it's a very engaged community, but I mean, there's a lot of toxicity comes to that because of the hyper competitiveness. Something I've always respected about the trading card game is the fact they try to keep their cards affordable. There are some that are pretty high priced, but anytime something starts breaking to the 50, 60, 70 range, they generally tend to, like, reprint it or, like, put it in those boxes like I just showed you. Pay $30, but you're guaranteed one, you know? So I can definitely agree with him on that. But something that got me, it actually was 2016, 2017. Jacob pulled it up for me. Apparently, like, at one of the live streamed events in the finals for their little Grand Prix or whatever, the voice actors of English voice actors of Yugi Moto and Kaiba were there, and they took the place of the commentators. And they're just like, Yugi, do you see what he did? Like, bro, that was I watched.
That sounds sick as hell. Like, that is so awesome.
It was great. Like, I would have expected that card. That card's been, you know, like, look at that. He's using a blue eyes. I thought I had them all, Yugi. It's like, whoa. You know, it was a blue eyes deck versus Madolche, I think. But either way, it was sick to hear that. But they're just like, good play. Reminds me when I beat you on Pegasus Tower. You know, like, damn.
See, probably the only way that you could ever match that is if you had the voice actors of Ash Ketchum and Gary Blue. Gary Oak. There we go. Gary Oak.
Yeah, Gary.
Doing the commentary for, like, the one Pokemon match that, like, just,
like, the
finalizes
it. That now have the voice actors now the voice actors for Pokemon they've rotated throughout the years. have the voice actors for Yu-Gi-Oh rotated throughout the years, or is it
No.
still
Kaiba,
really?
Kaiba and Yugi are the same because they've released movies even as recent as 2018, I believe, which I think was Duels Beyond Time,
Nice.
where it was then. Because Kaiba says a totally not abridged phrase that I love. So a little premise is this is after, of course, the show and the Pharaoh Yami is gone, right? And so it cuts to it shows all the gang doing their thing, and hey, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. We might jump into it. Goes to Kaiba, and he's dueling the Pharaoh. And it's like, what? He found a way to revive him, but of course it's a simulation. Like he beats him, and then of course everything shuts down. It's like, very good, Master Kaiba. Everybody comes out like, yes, I have. I have replicated everything, every card, every piece of clothing he was wearing, his perfectly coiffed hair, everything I made. And I was like, dang, Kaiba, like, bro, that was in the movie. It was actually pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, what was the one Yu-Gi-Oh movie that I remember? It was
a second.
Huh?
Give me a second. I gotta go give my wife emergency kisses.
Go right ahead. There was a Yu-Gi-Oh movie that I actually remember watching, and I don't even remember why I put it on. I just thought it looked cool, and it was actually pretty good. And it had the first 3 generations of the Yu-Gi-Oh shows. Mm-hmm. So it had Yugi Moto from the first series, and I remember that it had like another character like Yugi Mata or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards there was another character, and they actually like combined all of their monsters into like one big monster. But they all had to like fight different rules. It was really weird.
I stopped watching Yu-Gi-Oh 20 years ago. Like I haven't kept up with it. Okay, so I don't have any idea what you guys are talking about for the most part. I'm just letting
the
you guys
non-believer. Shun.
But like I did still feel like I should shout out, like, because like you when it comes to like mainstream anime and like manga, like Yu-Gi-Oh's amongst like the big 5, right? Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, so like maybe big 4. So like it's the one of the ones that has withstanded the test of time as far as like ongoing. I mean even like Dragon Ball Z like comes and goes every few years. But like it seems like things like Pokemon and like Yu-Gi-Oh have like remained consistent for like 25 years. Like, well, Pokemon 25 years more, and then Yu-Gi-Oh is like definitely Yu-Gi-Oh I think started in 2000.
If you think about it, during that time, you had major anime kind of paving the way. So you definitely had Pokemon. In fact, I had heard about Pokemon even before it came out as a video game or anime. I remember actually getting a book cover for it when I was in elementary school. Then you had Digimon. Oh, welcome back.
Digimon. Oh, by the way, on the topic of Digimon, they are getting ready to do another sort of OG Digimon movie in celebration of the 20th anniversary of Digimon Adventure 2. So
really?
I don't care for a movie. Give me a remake of the very first Digimon World video game. I will be happy.
Well,
my gosh.
They are doing, I mean, besides that, they are getting ready to do another Digimon Adventure 2 movie featuring the cast of Digimon Adventure 2. So that'd be TK, Sora, Ken, what would it be? It would Davis, Yoli, and Cody. So I'm stoked for that. Now, I do have a lot of Digimon catching up to do. I have not seen Digimon Adventure Try. I need to watch that.
That's just a digi disaster right there. You better get on it.
I know. And then of course there's
A
Digimon
Digi
Adventure. There's Digimon Adventure Last Evolution, cause something like that. Which is
that
like
the one
which
with the sound-based Digimon?
I don't know. I need to watch it, but I heard that. But that one closes out Ty's story. So I'll be curious. I will be curious to see if this new Digimon Adventure movie, if it closes out like the second round of DigiDestined, or if they will close out their story, because they are actually gearing up to dub the reboot of Digimon Adventure 1 that came out in 2000. So
Yes, they are.
But I was going to mention on the topic of like actors who have kind of stuck with it throughout the years. You guys were talking about how like it's still the same voice actors who did Yugi. Now, Joshua Seth has maintained being the voice actor of Tai for 20 plus years, and he made it very clear that he would have returned for the reboot of Digimon Adventure 1 to voice Tai, but I guess Toy and Crunchyroll wanted to I think it was probably more of a Crunchyroll decision to do new dub actors for.
I actually am for that. After Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm definitely for that. Listen, I accept the fact that we get the same voice actor for Sora throughout all the games. Y'all waiting 17 years makes him sound like a surly sailor now, and he is apparently supposed to be a child still. So I was like, okay, cool. That's not for me. So
wasn't the original voice actor the one child actor?
Yeah, it was. Oh God, the guy from
I See Dead People.
Yeah, the kid from that. What the hell was that guy's name? God.
Oh, that's gonna bug me now. No,
I'm getting it. It's
a kid from Sixth Sense.
Haley Joel Osment.
There we go. Yes, it was Haley Joel Osment. He was the original voice actor of Sora.
Yeah.
I mean, the voice actor. He had a more mature sounding voice, but you could have easily been like, yeah, sure, teenage years, right?
Yeah.
Then now it kind of sounds like, "Hey, gang, I'm here," and I was like, "Whoa, hey, are you ready, kids? I, Captain," like,
I can't hear you.
I will be curious to see like what they do with Kingdom Hearts 4 in his voice. Maybe they'll mature him up a little bit in order for Haley Joel Osment's voice to make sense with Sora. But I get what you're saying about changing up actors, due to age and the changing of the voice and things like that. But they have this actor. His name is Zeno Robinson. He's actually he does a lot of stuff, and I guess the best thing to kind of point him out to is he's the voice of Hawks on My Hero Academia, and he's gonna be the new Tai for Digimon Adventure. Yeah,
I can definitely get behind that then.
Yeah,
I mean, here's my thing with, especially when it comes to voice actors. Like, I can understand having the original voice actors for certain characters, but then the other thing I have to point out is, okay, look at Rob Paulson. Look at Rob Paulson. He was the original voice of Raphael in the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
And currently, I believe, if not in this rendition, but the previous rendition on Nickelodeon, he actually voices like Donatello. Okay. So it's like, they don't need to be the same characters as long as they understand and they can portray what the characters are about. That's the big thing.
So my thing is, like, it's cool to do a remake and stuff, but there were adults in the show too. I guess more in like Digimon 2 or whatever, My thing is, it would be cool if the original voice actors, like, to me, it's like really showing respect to what was the building blocks of your franchise,
Right.
And so I would give all the original voice actors like voices of like the prominent adults in the, or even give them a chance to voice some of the Digimon.
Just as
like
cameo parts.
yeah, I admittedly that's something I really like when they pay
I
homage.
like that. I like that too.
Yeah,
I like.
I think that you would get so many more people, like especially if you show that respect for the voice actors and actresses who did everything they could at a time where, let's be fair, English and West voice acting was kind of meh.
Yeah.
They did what they could, but they really didn't care. Ghost Story still exists, and.
I mean,
by the way, I love Ghost Stories. I'm actually going to get a stream up where Jacob and I are watching the actual English dub, which is not abridged. Beautiful. Everyone should watch it.
We've talked about that, and we need to do that sometime.
We do. And but anyway, but that's my stance. Like, I feel like they'd get a lot more people. I feel like it would be a great tribute to the original voice actor.
Imagine if Sean Schemmel and Christopher Sabat had cameos in that horrible Dragon Ball Z live action film.
Oh my God.
Imagine how much better just putting those two guys in there.
I was actually just talking about Dragon Ball Evolution earlier today with my brother. And I told him Dragon Ball Evolution, because he found a copy of Final Fantasy Spirits Within. And if you haven't seen don't.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I just don't.
No, hold on. Actually, you should in this premise, because he was like, I watched it and I didn't think it was bad. I was like, okay, I'll give you that. It wasn't that bad, but my expectations as a Final Fantasy fan was, what the f- is this? It's not Final Fantasy. And so I treat Dragon Ball Evolution as I treat Final Fantasy Spirits Within, as I treat Joker with Joaquin Phoenix 2018. Or 2018. 2020. Hold on.
Yeah.
Leave the overarching money grab out of it. Joker would have been the perfect film to show off mental health and how it falls through the cracks and what can come from it. And it would have been a beautiful thing, Dragon Ball Evolution, if you would have just taken all of the aspects that the fans would have had, like, oh, hey, this is Dragon Ball Z, and just played this movie that obviously would have been a B-rated Sci-Fi Channel 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday movie, right?
Yeah.
You would have at least had the chance to have it pull a Tremors and do well on TV. Like, where we're like, actually, this was pretty dope, and it becomes a cult classic, and suddenly we're seeing Dragon Ball Re-Evolution,
Yeah,
I can see that as kind of like the same
see that too. Like Dragon Ball Evolution, it isn't a terrible movie per se, but it is a terrible Dragon Ball movie.
So one that I don't put in that is Avatar live action, The Last Airbender. I'm sorry, but even if you took out the ATLA premise, I don't think I would have rightly liked that to begin with. I still don't like it. So
that is, yeah. Oh man,
I'm just kind of trying to be silent because I'm not understanding what you mean. Honestly, I hate the movie.
So what he's talking about as far as Dragon Ball goes, basically the movie in itself isn't terrible exactly. Like you said,
it was entertaining. It has a value of entertainment.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm highly let down because they said Dragon Ball, and so I'm thinking Dragon Ball Z characters. I'm thinking that we're about to get this is going to be the actual Goku. This is going to be, this is going to be him and King Piccolo, fighting together. Maybe we'll see some Saiyans. Instead, we got this absolute trash movie, and if you would have pulled that out, changed the names. It's not Goku anymore. It's Chad.
I think this is the point when media all kind of comes to that whole butting of heads. Look for example, Aragon. Look for example, Artemis Fowl.
Fowl, especially Artemis Fowl. And those books were absolutely dope, and that movie was terrible.
Oh, I was totally listening to Artemis Fowl today as I was working. The other one that I want to point out, and by the way, I actually do enjoy the movie, but I realize how different and how much the movie misses because it's different is Ready Player One. Like, I read these books, I love these books, I do compare the books and the movies, and the whole aspect is when you miss such a vital part of what the story in the book is, then you come up with trash movies. That's what Artemis Fowl was. They did not get any of the characters correct. That's why it was such a trash movie, is because you could not understand the characters because they were so fucked up.
So you're on the same page with us on that, because let's be fair. If Ready Player One was just like Virtual Boy or something like that, let's just say that, and you just heard about the premise and it may have been similar, but it's not that story. You don't have you wouldn't have had the expectation of where it should be or what it should have been doing. Tabby did not like. My wife is big on reading the media first, so that Ender's Game. If you've ever watched that or read that,
I haven't. Really... I've only gotten through like the first half of the book. I haven't actually read through the entire book.
So she's read these books and stuff. So when we go to watch these movies, she has high expectations. Ender's Game let her down because you missed a premise completely with the little psychological game he was playing and stuff like that. Ready Player One, they changed up things. She was not happy, and like. It's just things like that really tick her off, and it's obviously really cute, but you know.
Aragon was like a big letdown for me. You know, Aragon was a good book. Eldest was a good book. Bersinger was an okay book, and I didn't finish it. I didn't finish
for being written by an 18-year-old. They were good books.
But like the issue, so Aragon the movie in itself, it's not really a bad fantasy film. Like it really isn't, but how it played out made it impossible for Eldest to start. It made it impossible for the sequel to start. Impossible.
That similar to the Ender's Game things, like it makes it impossible, you know, for them to continue going in the direction they should have and stuff. And so that's what I'm saying. If you were to take the title and the whole premise, if you take all that out of it and just make it into a different movie, but it still has the same stuff, I feel like you would have appreciated it more. If not in the moment, whenever it was like on bargain or you catch it on TV, you know, it's like, oh, hey, cool. Yeah, sure. I'll watch that. And it's like, wow, this is actually better than expected, you know? And
I would approve of them. I would approve of them retrying a live action whatever that series was, the Aragon series.
Yep, Aragon.
And honestly, I think it would probably make for a solid 10 to 12 episode miniseries that covers all of the books.
I believe that's actually what Disney is doing with the Percy Jackson series, because
that's what I've heard. Yeah,
you had Percy Jackson.
I heard that because I heard that Percy Jackson ticked off a lot of people.
I know I'm not a lot of people, but yeah, no, it pissed me off. There was nothing right in those movies, and I was really pissed off by how it.
I've never read them. I don't know anything about them. I just know that when I was like, seems interesting, and then I get like this earful at Barnes and Nobles, and I was like, from some lady that I don't even know, and I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I apologize for talking. I didn't even know. You know, like
the main three things that I know I can go on about when it comes to like movies and stuff like that, or actually 4 things I should say, is Harry Potter, Aragon, Artemis Fowl, and Percy Jackson, because I've literally read throughout the entire series of all of those multiple times. And so like I can understand like the way that movies go. It's like, okay, I can understand why they did this choice, but the way that they disregard the choice of this little thing just kind of fucks them over later on in the story.
I mean, that's the premise of Harry Potter, and I always forget the name of the house elf like resistance that Hermione was kind of funding.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember now. Hold on.
Is it Owl? Is it house elf or something? It's an anagram.
It's Spew. SPEW.
Yeah, Spew. There we go. And so my thing was, I mean, yeah, sure, it's just a side thing you could have done, but it does actually play into the plot too in certain.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
because the house
outside
elves
maybe.
actually helped them during the war
Yeah.
for Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they actually come out
and
and help.
we're missing a very key part to the fight, you know, and it just it's just
So,
whatever. Like that part upset me.
I want to bring up one point about Harry Potter, and then I want to transition into one final topic that I'd like to discuss with you guys before we end it.
Of course.
So the first thing is, I hate Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 for one reason and one reason only.
He broke his freaking wand.
He broke the Elder Wand. Is that what it was called, right?
Yes, the Elder Wand. He broke
the
Elder Wand
and
without repairing his own.
Without repairing his own. That pissed me off so bad. Because, like, honestly, that was like the one point in the movie that I was looking forward to the most, because I always felt like Harry Potter's wand was single-handedly part of his identity. Like, he had a very special wand, and
it was.
He had a very powerful special wand. Yeah, and I was like, why would they do that? It's like, it's not that hard to make that scene work. It's not that hard to make that scene happen. And then
it's not expensive either. It was 10 seconds quick, you know, pull out, repair, and then do your thing, you know?
And then of course the fact, you know, he broke it as opposed to putting it with Dumbledore, where which is like, you know, the whole idea was like, okay, it's going to go with Dumbledore and that's where it's going to stay until Harry Potter dies. And once Harry Potter dies, the cycle is broken and it doesn't belong to anybody anymore. And
I have a theory on it.
It was so annoying to me. But go ahead and state your theory, but then I want to bring up one other topic before that we probably will be discussing in length before we end it. So go ahead.
The theory on the whole wand aspect is this. There was actually a deleted scene at that part when the war actually like restarted, because everybody knows that whole point where they come walking in with Harry's dead body or so-called dead body. There was actually a deleted scene where once Malfoy understood that Harry was alive in the movie, he actually ran and yelled, "Potter!" and threw him his wand. So I think that's probably why they never addressed it later on, is because they were planning on using that deleted scene to kind of redeem Malfoy in the movies.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that deleted scene. I've never heard of that.
It literally just popped up. That's why it's kind of a new theory kind of thing. So that deleted scene actually did just pop up where it's like just a couple of clips where it's like, "No, Potter," and you can see Malfoy running from the Death Eaters throwing a wand kind of thing. So
interesting.
It kind of like, okay, that does make sense in a movie point of view. You redeem the character that kept making all of the mistakes by giving the weapon, or by giving a weapon to the hero, basically, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the final topic that I'd like to talk with you guys about today, we have I have discussed with both of you guys ad nauseum about Death Note. Okay. About like my likes and my dislikes of it, and my just the the fact that it took me so long to read because it's a very dense, it's a very heavy, it's a very dense story, it's a very heavy story, and there's just kind of a lot that happens. It felt like I was reading a legitimate novel when I was reading this particular manga. There was a lot of dialogue. There was a lot of exposition. I still don't know how I fully feel about it. So there was some interesting Death Note news recently. It was announced that the Duffer Brothers, who are known for Stranger Things, are going to have their own crack at a live action adaptation of Death Note for Netflix. What are your guys' thoughts? Now, my initial thoughts are, I honestly think that if there was any, don't get me wrong, the Duffer Brothers only have Stranger Things under their belt, but like they've done a pretty good job with Stranger Things and making it feel good. And I feel like they are an honest duo when it comes to filmmaking. And I think that we should now, for the lack of a better term, give them the benefit of the doubt, even though Japanese media has not translated well in the West outside of dubbed anime. Am I making sense here? So,
Yeah.
what are your guys's? So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because I feel like if they are smart, they will look at the history of Netflix's previous adaptation of Death Note, which my understanding is that it was really bad. And they will take a look at that and be like, okay, this is what we can't do. Let's look at the source material and let's see how we can do this right. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because they seem like intelligent people who listen to their fans. What are your guys' thoughts on that prospect?
Take it away, Casey. I want to hear yours.
All right. Well, first off, Netflix already is taking the benefit of the doubt right now from me. Because I'm hoping that their live action Avatar The Last Airbender is going to be a good series.
Decent, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right now, they are already walking on thin ice with me. The other ones that I have seen, other than Death Note, like I did watch the live action adaptation of Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh God!
Exactly. So not only can I say that these adaptions were horrendous when it comes to the animes, because I am a huge fan of the animes. Those are actually one of the first animes that got me into anime and reading mangas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So seeing those butchered, and I don't mean just butchered in the storyline, I also mean just like with the characters. For example, look at the live action adaptation of Full Metal Alchemist.
I was about to bring that up if you hadn't watched. It's like, yeah, that was
it was
terrible.
bad.
It was terrible.
I will state I still teared up a little bit with the whole transmutation of the little girl and the dog.
Yeah,
that still teared me up. But here's my big thing, and it's kind of the same thing with Artemis Fowl. If you don't get the characters right, you don't get the movie right. Because in Full Metal Alchemist, the Elric brothers, if you pay attention to the story, they're more German. They're not Asian. And so if you portray them as these Asians with like the blonde hair and everything like that, it kind of does kind of kill from the story because they are supposed to be separate from the people in their own country kind of thing.
It's fair.
So it's like, if you don't get the characters right, you're not going to get the story right. And if
that's not completely true, though. I mean, because they did get a lot of the Bleach characters right in terms of their character and persona, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, actually, the Bleach characters were pretty good. It's just the way that they cut the story around to make it shorter. That's what affected it.
Honestly, and this is aside, it's still your topic. Like, honestly, if we're talking about the Bleach, the only thing I feel they did wrong was like you said, they rushed that and really just started going crazy at the end. If we would have let this just be the first 5 or 6 episodes of Rukia being taken back, you know, even sped up,
it would have been awesome. It would have been freaking amazing.
Fantastic, but you messed up at the end. You got a little too excited because your teaser trailers were great, and but
didn't they do the whole graveyard scene with Ichigo's mother and him finding out who killed? Which is like, I'm sorry, no, that happens way later in the story after he's already implemented as a Soul Reaper.
But my thing is, and I will say that would have been super speedy if it would have been her being taken back then, because no, he does find out Grand Fisher in the middle of it. To be honest, I think it's the first 8 episodes is him and Rukia and the adventures of meeting Chad and Uryu and Orihime and knowing of her powers and stuff. But in the middle of that, they do the graveyard scene, and he does fight Grand Fisher and fight him off, and an obscure other Soul Reaper's there who promises to keep the secret or whatever. But
Let me ask
I
this:
will,
was this a Western? Was this like an Americanized version of Bleach, or was it a
no,
Japanese live action
it was
version of
It
Bleach?
was
Japanese.
Japanese
It was
live
Japanese.
action.
Okay.
Japanese live action on Netflix. It
Both,
was pretty terrible.
both
Okay.
Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist were Japanese live action movies, and
And
Interesting.
oh, it's kind of the same
here's
thing with
my thing.
Rurouni Kenshin as well, because they did a couple of Rurouni Kenshin live action movies too, and
Yeah.
they
But I heard that
don't
those were actually okay.
they were okay, but they don't live up to the anime.
Sure.
Hold on. You're right that they don't live up to the anime. But those movies were fantastic when it came to the fight scenes, when it came to like portrayals of certain characters. I think it did as well as it could, you know? And to
I
be
will
honest,
agree with you on that.
given what we have with Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist and Death Note and stuff like that, like that's already out, I'm gonna tell you right now, and Dragon Ball Evolution, like I'm not gonna lie, I loved those. Like maybe it's just Stockholm syndrome. Maybe it's because I've been so, that I just accept it because it was better than all these other things. But I did like it, and that's a step in the right direction. It's actually that part that makes me wary about the Death Note live action with Netflix. Netflix has not produced a live action that I actually agree with, when it comes to the Japanese side of things,
Sure.
and even then, like the hottest anime that they made was Castlevania for their Netflix original stuff, but even that's not necessarily Japanese. So it's like I'm worried. I am worried about those two. Plus, Stranger Things to me is a little overrated. I think it's interesting. I think it's a great premise. I think they put a lot of teenage drama in it, more than there should be. Like, hey, Cthulhu's about to resurrect. Let's talk about that time that you didn't look at me at a party. It's like, what the f- is this? Literally, we know that D-Day is in 7 hours, and you want to talk about that. But and I try to give the benefit of the doubt from a psychological standpoint. These are kids with perceived audiences. They think that they are invulnerable, this perceived vulnerability that a lot of teenagers have, So to them, yeah, Cthulhu's coming, but they'll just stop it like they've stopped it before, Let's more talk about the things that are important to us. But that's a whole nother topic,
Sure.
Straight, but because of that, I've had to
stuff with that.
I've had to go on a limb to fight for Stranger Things in my office because most of my people don't like it, And I'm like, guys, I actually can see that from a developmental perspective, To just drop it. I think it's decent enough. That being said, I'm really hoping we don't get that in the Death Note adaptation. I will give them the benefit of the doubt, but I think it's more just accepting the fact that no one else is doing it. So I guess I have to,
At this point, Netflix needs to show that they are real about providing quality entertainment instead of just saying, oh, we got this huge name that you already know and you already have this nostalgia for, and we're going to make a live action. No, actually do something good with it.
Show some respect to it. I'm hoping this does so well that we can finally get a freaking Platinum End pull onto Netflix or a better streaming service. I would like to see the Platinum End is a story that, and I don't know if they've made anime adaptation or not, but Platinum End is another story that the creator of Death Note made, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I definitely love the manga because the outside of the manga has this crystalline look to it, very shiny, and it also has a really dark start, so it's kind of creepy. The angel's really creepy.
Oh, this is a more recent thing, huh?
Yes, it is. I ran across it.
It does look like there was an anime. It ran 24 episodes from the end of last year until March of this year.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice. Yeah. I'm down. I'm going to go watch that now. Put a pin in that, but, I'm just saying.
Hold on. I'll be right back. Click.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be back in 2 weeks. So, but no, so I agree with you with that we should give it the benefit of the doubt, but I guess at this point it's kind of more like I'm the hostage to a situation, so I kind of have no choice. This bomb's going to go off anyways, whether I fight and scream or not, so we might as well just sit here and wait for it to happen.
I totally understand that.
I will say that if you're going to tell me that Netflix producers and the producers of Stranger Things, which which is Netflix, but like that specifically them versus anyone who did any of the other adaptations of anime, we're going to do it. I'd like to toss my dice with the people who toss dice.
Mhm.
So like for me, like I think the best way to put it is like I trust the Duffer Brothers over say like someone like M. Night Shyamalan. You know what I mean? I think that let me see here.
I think he froze.
Yeah, I think he froze. Okay. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get him back. Oh no. Oh, here he is. Here we go. Oh no. Oh, where did he go? We lost him. Is he trying to get back in, maybe? Let me see if we can get him back in here. We'll wrap it up. Uh-oh. What's happening here? Let me see here.
Okay, come here.
I think we lost him.
We lost him? Oh no.
We lost him. Oh no.
At least it was during the ending of it.
Yeah, let's see. Let me I think he got like weirdly disconnected. I think he might be trying to get back in. Let's see here.
But from what you were saying is like you prefer them over M. Night Shyamalan.
I prefer them over like some crazy mainstream douche. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, they don't necessarily also need to be mainstream. I mean, look at Jon Favreau and all that.
Yeah.
With the Marvel, all you need to do is be a fan and understand what the story is.
Sure.
And how the characters relate to said story.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll wrap it up without him. I might then I'll get you guys over in Discord and we'll have a little bit more. We'll finish up chatting. Let's go ahead and end this. Unfortunately we lost Jeremiah. Maybe we'll stall just a little bit longer. This has been just sort of just some random BS conversation. Okay, let me see here. Let's see, invite guest, copy link. Let's see here. Let's try getting him back in. Okay, we'll try this. Here he is. All right, show on stream.
Okay,
there
just
he
so
is.
we're clear, I started bad mouthing Netflix, and this is what happens. Melon is nothing more than a conspiracy app with Netflix and everybody else. Okay,
DOS attack.
Yeah, so we're actually in the process of we'll if you have any final thoughts, go ahead and say it. Then we'll wrap things up.
Don't ever set your router to turn off at 11 because you're trying to teach yourself and your wife to go to bed at decent hours. Because it makes for awkward podcasts. No, but seriously, like just to end all my things. Like my thing is, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I will toss my dice with them. Sure. I'm going to have low expectations, but it could be bomb. I could enjoy it. I've seen. We've seen stranger things happen.
Right. I know, right? Zing.
We've seen great things like Game of Thrones go from something really interesting to something very shitty.
And he won't even finish the books. That's what's ticking off my wife. He won't even finish the books. He's just like, no, I'm not even with you anymore.
He's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what that dude's plan is, but like, man, Game of Thrones
get rich. Like,
Game of Thrones will forever
swim
be tainted.
in a fountain of nickels. Like, the man's rich. He doesn't care.
I mean, especially after Elden Ring.
We don't need to. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole right now, but we should. Anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Jeremiah, let everyone know where they can find you at.
What's up? So, if you ever want to listen to us, we talk movies, games, and all things in between on Dude Let's Chat. You can find us on your favorite podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Dude Let's Chat, Instagram Dude Let's Chat, YouTube. We do live streams. Dude Let's Chat Thursday, every other Thursday at 9:30, and of course periodically throughout the week we try to stream some games. It's mostly Ice and J&L right now. Until I get off my keister and start playing something everybody wants to watch, like Katamari. So, but yeah, come and give us a subscribe and a follow.
To clarify, that is 9:30 Mountain Time?
Central. 9:30 Central. So
9:30 Central.
If we try to do it 9:30 Central every other Thursday, so not this Thursday, obviously, because I'm in the company of great gentlemen here in Whip and Casey. But next Thursday we will be coming together. I believe we're discussing RE4 remake, I believe is what we're doing. So, yeah.
Ooh. Can I? If it's okay.
I mean, we will.
No. Can
I? I would tell you right now. I think you should be a part of it. I know that you'll be. Yeah. I mean,
so RE4 is the one game that I've played the most ever in my life. It's one of my. It is hands down. It is. I think I've even talked about this with you guys. It is like one of my top 3 favorite games of all time.
When you got a passion for something, that's what I want to see. I would love to have you on that. And if that's what we're talking, we should be talking about that. Don't quote me. I will talk to Ice to make sure. But when we do have that topic, Whip, you're coming. You're coming, or I ain't going to be a part of it. Because, yes, I want that passion, man.
The only thing I can state to that is that RE4 is no Lollipop Chainsaw remake, okay?
Oh, I know, right? Lollipop Chainsaw remake.
Oh man.
But
that was such a great video.
It looked like we had some people watching, and I want to thank the people who were watching. Appreciate you coming by. If you haven't already, please consider liking, subscribing to my channel, Work in Progress. Definitely check out Dude Let's Chat. Casey doesn't have a YouTube channel. He is a part of Work in Progress, and he's someone who will. Right? He's someone who I will always have around. But everyone, thanks for tuning in, and my guests, thanks for being here. And we will see you all on the next one.
Be happy.
Later.